I remember situations where having just a couple extra dollars would have made such a big difference in my family's life. When you're poor, the walls are really thin in those houses, okay? And I would hear my mom and dad in the morning, 6 in the morning, my dad would get up to go to work and he'd say, I need some money for gas. And my mom would go, we only have $6 and I gotta buy food for lunches for the kids. And my dad would say, but if I can't drive to work, I can't make a paycheck, and then there's no food, no money to buy food. My mom would say, well, gas in the car isn't gonna feed our kids, and I'd hear them fighting over that. It was horrible. 200 extra bucks a month would have changed our lives forever. 200 extra bucks a month would have changed our lives. In today's money, that's like 1,000 extra bucks a month probably. But I mean, that's easy. 1,000 extra bucks a month in Purium is pretty easy. But people ask me all the time, why network marketing? And I have to tell you, I make products for 300 different companies as a manufacturer, and many of them were network marketing companies, and that's the reason I never wanted to become a network marketing company. I saw the things that they did, and I heard the complaints of the people who were part of the systems and how they got, deceived by it. I thought, wait a minute, I'm never going to do that. But then I realized something. I realized it's sort of an analogy that when something's really awesome, people are going to take advantage of it. I see people all the time, like using God's name in order to ask for a donation, right? I guarantee that donation ain't going to do God's work a lot of times, I guarantee it, okay? But they use God's name in order to get that power. Even though God is good, it's been corrupted by how they use his name. Network marketing is nothing more than free enterprise. That's all network marketing is. And free enterprise is only as good as the people who practice it. Okay? Through the law of attraction, I'm looking around this room and I see people I would be very proud to lock arms with and to march into the future with. Do you guys believe me when I say that? Do you feel the same way? And so that's what we're going to do. But here's the thing. Let's say that who here thinks that they've ever had a really good idea that they could sell to the world? Raise your hand, and every hand there we go, because I know you guys. We all believe it. Like, make something out of toilet paper roll. We're like, I can patent that. Right? So here's the thing. Let's say you do come up with a great idea. How's the world going to hear about it? You going to get on Shark Tank or something? I tried, How is the world going to hear about your product? Well, it isn't going to happen without either people or money, or a lot of people, or a lot of money, or a lot of both. Well, here's what I figured out. I tried to sell my products to the health food stores. Do you know how many health food stores there are in the entire United States? Alaska, Hawaii, New York, to California, Florida, you get it, 50 of them, right? Including GNCs, which are questionable whether they're a health food store or not. But including GNCs, there's fewer than 20,000 health food stores in the United States. Do you know that there's more ABC stores in Honolulu than there are, it's true, more ABC stores in Oahu than there are health food stores in the whole United States, okay? So, now in those health food stores, remember that's a very limited supply of health food stores, right? Now, how big are health food stores? Well, there are some big ones, but usually they're fairly small, right? How much shelf space is in there, and what's the value of that shelf space to the tens, hundreds of thousands of customers who want to sell something to you off of that shelf? So here's what it costs to get your product on that shelf, okay? First of all, you gotta have a broker who goes into the store and convinces them that they should carry your product, and the way he convinces them is saying, look at all the ads we're putting in these magazines. People are going to come in to ask for the product, so you better have it on your shelf when they do. So you spend money on the magazine ads, and you give the broker a commission for doing that. Then they place an order, and they call a distributor. A distributor has a big warehouse, and all the people who want to sell something to the health food stores sell it to the distributor. Then the distributor sells it to the health food store. He brings a truck with something from 80 different companies in one order, instead of having to order from 80 things. And in order to do that, that, the distributor wants 25 to 35% of the profit out of that order. So now you've got the broker, you've got the advertising, and you've got the distributor. And so far, the only person who's done any selling is the broker who sold it to the store, okay? Now, we've got, of course, the store itself. They're gonna sell it to you. Well, they wanna make between 40 and 50%, and that doesn't count the seasonal discounts they ask for every month. And then they only buy enough for that quarter until the next discount comes. So they're usually getting 40 to 50% off. The distributor was making 25 to 35, the broker was making 10%, and you had to advertise to hope that that would drive people into the store, and that advertising became your salesman. Well, guess what? That advertisement never had a personal experience with your product, and it can't talk to somebody at a human level. The teenage kid, as nice as they are, trying to pay their way through skateboarding school, or working at the store, they don't know nothing about nutrition. How much could they know? They're a teenager, okay? And so nobody's actually educated you, nobody's inspired you, nobody's had a personal experience with the product to tell you about it. They're just taking money off the top because they're there. Guess what? That makes the products cost too much. The first thing I did in my system is if you become an agent of change with me, that means a Purium Lifestyle Club member, you save 30% right off the top. Now I'm going to give it that into perspective. If you bought a bottle of tart cherry juice at the store, it costs around $30. When you buy it as a Purium Lifestyle Club member, you pay around $19. That's a serious, legitimate, awesome discount. That's not making any money. That's just what you legitimately save, okay? So the first thing is I want to make sure the products didn't cost too much. So when you're a member of our buying club, you get them at legitimate wholesale prices. And other network marketing companies, you know the routine. They tell you, become a member, we get a discount. That discount puts the price at what you would have paid anyway. It's all inflated. But guess what? We're the manufacturer. There's no inflation, okay? So here's the next thing. The people who actually get involved in the education, the inspiration, and the hand-holding, they're the ones who deserve to be rewarded financially, don't they? Why should we give the money to an empty warehouse, to a truck, to a distributor, and to people who do nothing other than move product around at great cost to our environment? Okay? So we are a very, very green company. Does anybody want to take a second? Can I take a minute and explain to you why we may be the greenest company that this planet has ever seen? You know, I can prove that. Do you want to hear about it? I don't ever talk about this, but this is a mature audience here. You guys are fighting Monsanto. I love you guys. Let's talk turkey. Let's talk real, okay? Can I jump up here to make sure I see all you guys? Oh, it's high up there. Okay. So let's take an acre of broccoli on this side and an acre of broccoli on this side. Now this broccoli is going to be moved to the store, so we're going to harvest it and we're going to wash it with water, and then we're going to put it in boxes, right? And then we're going to put it in a refrigerated truck, and we're going to move it to a refrigerated warehouse. Remember the distributor warehouse? So we're going to move the broccoli to the distributed warehouse that's also refrigerated. And then we're going to move it from the refrigerated warehouse to the grocery store that's refrigerated and lit and lighted up and has water spraying on the broccoli to make sure it stays sort of fresh. So then you're going to move it, you're going to transport it from the store to your refrigerator using more carbon energy. So now we've used so much carbon in big trucks transporting the broccoli, to big warehouses using more carbon, to big stores using more carbon, to your grocery using, but by the way, you went there in your car using more carbon, put it in your refrigerator using more carbon, but guess what you did then? You put it in that boiling pot of water, and by the time you lose a little bit in the harvest, a little bit that rots, and some that isn't sold, and some that isn't eaten even though you bought it, and what nutrients are left after you cooked it, the amount of nutrients that came from, sorry you guys, but the amount of nutrients that came from this acre that were grown and taken from Mother Earth that actually got into her children was maybe 5 to 10%. And in delivering that 5 or 10% of what you harvested, you spend so much energy. Do you guys get that? So now let's take the Purium acre. Sorry, you're all Purium acres today. So let's take the Purium acre. Now we harvest that and we immediately remove the fiber and the moisture, and that leaves 3% of the weight. But guess what? It leaves only 1% of the volume because it's packed very efficiently. And it's transported on trucks that do not need to be refrigerated. And it's moved into my warehouse while it is cool, it's not refrigerated. And then it's put into our containers, which are transported to you by the most efficient delivery system, UPS and FedEx, which makes very efficient deliveries. For every mile they travel, they make like 40 deliveries. That's way more than the 5 miles you drive to the store and back with a bag full of groceries. So the carbon efficiency of my delivery method is insane. So at the end of the day, I'm going to deliver 95% of the nutrients that came from these acres to the end user in the most efficient possible method, using a fraction of the carbon and delivering